Well, here's a quick little video I'll post up. Buddy brought me his Exmark, and he had some charging issues with it, and they've actually just had the engine out and resealed the sump cover on it because it was leaking oil, and so they've had their hands on this thing a little bit. And he told me they had this cover off here that goes like this, got all your controls in it. He told me they'd had that off. And but the problem was he got it back and the clutch wouldn't engage. And so we've got a fuse for your clutch over here. It's this one right here, the 10 amp. So sure enough, he brought it over. Clutch wouldn't do anything. Doesn't click like it's supposed to or anything. So I got under it, unplugged it from the clutch, put my test light on it. Didn't have any power there at all, and it wasn't lighting up like it is now. And so I start kind of checking things. He told me he'd already checked the fuse and no problems there. And so I just kind of followed some wiring. Everything's in the loom. They don't really have it all tied back up probably how it should be, and it's hard to see, but I mean, nothing is cut or, messed with in a way that I would really expect problems. I pulled the PTO harness back out. It just goes through a hole down to the clutch. It's a whole lot easier to, see what you're doing when you can lay it here. So that's the reason I did that. So after I couldn't really find anything, in the harness right here, just quickly looking, I decided I'd just go ahead and pull this cover loose because, he told me they had it off. And so figured I might as well just check everything here. And these two brown wires right here, there's a top one and then one underneath it. Those are the fuse for the clutch. Those are the power leads that go to the clutch. So you can kind of see the test light over there if I can get everything in frame. But I noticed after I messed with this a little bit and flipped it back down that the test light was lit up. So if I grab a hold of this wire and move it, you can see the light flickering if I can hold things. Or you can see both. Hopefully you can see the light flickering and carrying on. And actually, I was able to make it go out. You can see it's wanting to go out there. Just wiggling these, there we go. See, it's totally gone there. Don't have any light anymore. And all I have to do is just push around these wires, and it's really messing with it. It's basically, you can see how easy these wires could get wiggled around and you could lose your clutch function. And it actually was doing it worse a minute ago. This top one seemed to be worse a second ago, but I've messed with it some, during my troubleshooting. Anyhow, I was trying to make it go out one more time, but you can see it really flickering. So anyhow, I pulled this fuse out. And you can see when I pull it out, the light is gone. But looking at this fuse, look how corroded the pins are. I mean, they're not dirty or burnt, but they're real white and chalky. You can kind of see it there, especially on this side. And I guess you could say they're dirty. I mean, that chalky substance is, oops. is not too good looking. And if we compare it to a new fuse, you can kind of see the difference in how clean they are. So I can stick my new fuse in here, and these look pretty good. I mean, I don't really see a big problem there. So stick my new fuse in there. Got my light back, flip this back over, and now I can wiggle everything. Nothing's cutting out, going off. I mean, literally, it's just that old fuse was making that bad of a connection when these wires got pulled or twisted a little bit. I mean, you can't even make it flicker now. So, really simple solution that could pretty easily be overlooked because, you know, you just weren't expecting that when the fuse looked fine and the connections don't look that bad. So just to show, I'm on the clutch. Everything's working fine now. So, you know, with electrical problems, really it's easiest if you kind of start simple. It was real easy to get that panel off. And I really, you know, you don't want to go digging around in the harness if you don't have to, splitting the loom open and checking everything. He's he's kind of in a bind needing this mower. And he brought it to me, and I was, you know, I was thinking it would probably be a simple fix, but he said a few people had their hands on it, so you never know what you're going to get into. And I don't know if this is anybody's fault. It's probably just a matter of that fuse kind of getting corroded and not making good connection in the pins anymore. And basically, after that happened, I'd say somebody disturbed the wires a little bit, and that was it. It, you know, it just lost connection. So I really think just that fuse has fixed it. If I can find something to file just a little bit down inside these, the two prongs there, I might try to file it a little bit, but they honestly look pretty clean. I think it's more so the fuse than anything. So, and I don't want to go spreading them out and getting them loose because the fuse fits good right now. So, just a short little video kind of showing, you know, sometimes it's the unexpected. Like I said, if you just pulled that fuse out, you'd say, well, the fuse is fine. And I even checked with my test light, and I had power across the fuse because the pin coming into the fuse had power, but the one coming out wasn't making good enough connection to send it to the clutch. So my test light, you know, told me the fuse was good and that I had power coming through it. So sometimes you have to just double check and, you know, not let it fool you. Not always easy. I really didn't know what I was getting into with this. Like I said, I kind of expected something somewhat simple, but I wasn't sure. But anyway, pretty simple fix. And that ought to have him back on the road, or on the grass, I guess you'd say. I kind of got plenty of projects right now, but like I said, he was in a little bit of a pickle, so he brought it to me, and luckily, he just brought it to me a couple hours ago. Luckily, that was a simple fix, so I'm gonna give him a call and tell him to come get it. Appreciate y'all watching, and we'll catch you later.